Hi, my name is Zafira, and today I'd be talking about my research topic on poverty and social emotions, the effect of shame on divergent thinking. A lot of people in poverty around the world struggle to find solutions to their financial problems. One factor that contributes to this problem is the inability to think divergently. Divergent thinking is defined as the ability to find non-standard solutions to one problem. We may then ask, why do people in poverty struggle to think divergently? Here, we turn to the emotion shame. There are two types of shame. The first one is social shame, and the second one is private shame. Social shame is a negative effect that comes from our consciousness of other people's reaction due to our shortcoming. Meanwhile, private shame is also a negative effect. However, it is due to falling short of our own expectations without any external influence. In this study, I attempted to answer the research question, how do social and private shame impact divergent thinking? This research is a between design laboratory experiment that involves 3 experimental groups. The first group was induced with social shame, the second one induced with private shame, and the third group is a baseline condition that was not induced with any emotions. There were 2 parts to the experiment. The first one is the manipulation of emotions, and the second one is the divergent thinking task. Now, I'd like to explain to you a little bit about the process of the experiment. After the participants entered the laboratory, they were greeted by an experimenter as well as another participant who is really a trained confederate. So this confederate is acting as a participant. The participants was then briefed about the experiment. They were told that this experiment is about flexible working and that there is 2 sections to the experiment, each in different rooms. Now, the participants are ushered to the first room. This is where the manipulation of emotions take place. Participants assigned to the social shame condition completed both a math test and a language test. The math test included questions that was impossible to answer, and they were also given a really short time limit. The confederate was also encouraged to finish way faster than the time limit, making it as if it is an easy task. After the math test, the participants completed a language test, which consisted of hard questions in which the confederate also finished faster. After both the math and language test is completed, the experimenter collects their answers and checks for marks. The experimenter then tells the participants that the confederate is well above average at 82% and the participant is below average at 34%. That is the manipulation for social shame. For the private shame condition, participants were also given a math and language test with the existence of a confederate next to them. However, the confederate were encouraged not to finish earlier. The scores of the math and language test was also not announced to the participants. This is designed for participants to feel bad because the questions were hard, but not feel bad because someone else did better than them. In the third condition, which is the baseline condition, participants did not complete a math and language test. After the completion of manipulation, participants were asked to complete a guilt and shame questionnaire. That was the end of the manipulation. Participants were then moved to a different room to complete the divergent thinking task. The divergent thinking task consists of 4 measures: flexibility, fluency, elaboration, and originality. Participants were asked to name a lot of different functions of a paperclip as they can imagine. Now, what's the results of the study? We found that the manipulation was all successful. We managed to manipulate social shame as well as private shame. Unfortunately, no effect of private shame nor social shame was seen on divergent thinking. Referring back to the context of the study being poverty, this research implies that people in poverty who experience shame and do not seek help is not because they cannot think divergently. Other factors may contribute to the help-seeking behaviors, such as risk-taking, pain tolerance, and also creativity. However, we do acknowledge that this study has a few limitations to note. The main limitation to this study is the experiment setup that was not careful enough. First of all, the moving of participants from one room to the other after the shame manipulation may have caused the shame manipulation to have decreased over time. That way, participants also had the time to put aside their emotions before they did the divergent thinking task. Secondly, when they moved rooms, they met a different experimenter who treated them very nicely. This may have created also a buffer to the shame manipulation. After they experienced shame, the participants met someone nice who said nice things to them. This may have decreased the shame manipulation. From this, we learn how sensitive experiments are to small changes. These are things that future researchers should work on.